Hello, and welcome back to Build a Cisco Branch Network. Now, since we already learned the basics of how a switch operates and what it does, let's go ahead and jump into a demo and see it in action using the Packet Tracer simulator. So we're working on a scenario where you arrive to the office, there are 3 switches interconnected in this fashion in a rack like this one. But for us to kind of get familiar with things a little, let's just take the switch in the middle, just to choose one of these, and let's pretend it's the only switch that we have and we want to test it. And we want to see how things look like in the switch. So let's do that and jump to Packet Tracer now. Good, so we're in Packet Tracer right now. This is just a blank file, so a blank canvas. First things first, let's go ahead and just name our file, just save it. And I'm gonna call it single switch testing. Just like that. Now this is not a lab that's included in the topology that we're going to build as a final topology. This is just a simple switch testing file. And you're going to open the same type of file yourself and use it for the same reason. Don't worry. We're going to build our topology little by little together. But for this video, let's just drag one of the switches here. So I'm going to choose switches here. Okay, so network devices, switches in the lower left hand pane. And we have several options here. I'm going to go with a relatively simple one. Okay, so I'm going to go with that 2960. And there we go. There is a switch. Now, what we see is an icon, right? Remember, this is a logical topology. The switch would actually look like this. Okay, so like this. Yeah, here is in a rack, right? It is racked here. Again, let's go to the logical. It looks like this in the logical topology. If we double click on it, we also get to see the physical part of it. We can zoom it in for sure. We can see the amount of ports that it has, and so we can also access a graphical version that allows to set up some configuration, but I will show you how to do things from the command line, right? So from here, from the command line. So if I hit enter, all I get is this switch and then a greater than sign, and that's it. This is my prompt. Now, of course, in real life, there is nothing like clicking a piece of metal and getting a command line. That's the first thing you need to know, okay? So how do we interact with a switch or with a router when we just unboxed it in real life? We don't have Packet Tracer. We cannot double click on it and get a command line, right? This is a simulation. So in real life, what you would do is you would take a laptop, typically. Could also be a PC, but it's typically a laptop because they are just easy to move. And you're going to locate it near the switch, like besides the switch or next to the switch. It's a better expression, I feel. And how do you connect with the switch? By Wi-Fi? No, not by Wi-Fi. You need a cable. And that cable is what we call a console cable, all right? Console cable. So that'll go to the RS-232 in the laptop, and it'll go to the console port right both here in the switch. Okay, this is a special type of cable. It is typically that color. That's the way they sell it, in light blue. And it's also known as a rollover cable. Now I'm using an RS-232 port in the laptop, but in truth, most laptops don't have that option, and most console cables now have USB adapters. So just a thing to keep in mind. But yes, console cable allows you to interface with the command line of your new switch. So how do you go about that? Well, you need to set up a terminal session. So this is my laptop, and I need to go to desktop, and I need to go to where it says terminal. Now, how would that look then in real life? You are going to be able to choose your own terminal software. For many people, it's still PuTTY. For some people, it's going to be Secure CRT, MOBA Xterm, or other type of software. Here, conveniently, in Packet Tracer, we just have one software called Terminal. So we just click on it. We get some default configuration, depending sometimes on the modal. You need to find out what that is on the documentation. But these are typically well accepted settings. And now you are logged into the switch from the laptop. You see it still says laptop 0. But now you got the switch interface, okay? Pretty neat. So again, of course, in Packet Tracer, you can just click the switch and get the CLI. Simpler, but I'm trying to show you how things work in real life here. And so you will need a laptop with the console cable and terminal software to get into the switch here. Now notice this laptop is not connected to the Ethernet ports of the switch, meaning it's not like I can connect a server or another laptop and make them talk, because the only thing this cable does is allow the laptop to speak to the switch, for so to speak, to configure the switch. It does not allow any other type of network communication. And to achieve network communication, we will need to add a couple more hosts at least. So let's start by doing that. So I'm gonna add a PC here. And I'm gonna add, well, let's just go with PCs for now. Just a couple PCs here, okay? All right. So they are next to the switch, but they are not connected to the switch. So nothing good of just being in proximity, right? So let's just go ahead and take a network cable. For now, let's use this Thunderbolt here. This will choose the connection type automatically for you, because we're not going to talk cabling right now, not in this course though. And these lights here are in orange, and that would actually happen on the physical switch, because there is a process that's taking some time to allow the ports to function. And to be specific, it's a spanning tree protocol, but again, out of scope for now. All right, now it's green, and that means we could actually achieve communication via the switch.